Let's bring in Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera's senior political analyst. He's joining us from London. Marwan, I want to go back to the position that Hamas is in currently. Publicly, they're saying that the killing of Yahya Sinwar will only reinforce their resistance, that the group is solid. These public declarations they're making, would you say it's the same as what they might be deliberating privately?
Probably not, and one should not expect them to. The situation with Hamas probably is in the gray area somewhere between what Hamas is saying about themselves, which they are inspired by the martyrdom of their leader, Yahya Sinwar, and tens of thousands of others, and hence they will continue to struggle, to resist, to defend themselves against Israeli genocide. And that they do have a good number of recruits now because of the horrors that Israel is bringing to the people of Gaza. On the other hand, there is that, sort of Israeli-American position that says Hamas has been weakened, its leadership has been basically decapitated, and its stronghold has been destroyed, and hence there is a room now for maneuver for something else. The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, and probably Hamas privately is thinking about, we will continue to resist. We have no other option but to resist and defend ourselves. But like the others, we need to think about the day after, meaning what is Hamas's role moving forward? What should it be prepared for? And how should it deal with the reality whereby, truth be told, the Palestinian Authority remains largely indifferent to what goes on in Gaza. The Arab regimes remain largely indifferent, some even complicit with what's going on in Gaza. So I think they're probably going to start drawing certain conclusions about the way forward while resisting the Israeli genocide, thinking about how they would have to evolve in the context of Palestinian political map, and how they then will remain relevant for the future of Palestine.
And if you touched on this in the day after, if we listen to what, and a moment ago we heard from them, from what European powers have had to say around peace and wanting to forge a way forward, look toward peace, how would that happen at this point if the leadership of Hamas has been eliminated one by one? Are they looking to negotiate? Who do they negotiate with? How does this continue going forward?
Listening to the German and to the American leaders, as well as others, one tends to think that there's something about Israel that brings out the worst in American, European, generally Western politicians and media, actually. There's something about Israel that somehow turns people to be rather stupid, short-sighted, ahistorical, delusional. There's something about what is going on, the way they parrot Israeli lines and Israeli arguments and Israeli justifications and pretexts. It is as if the whole problem in Palestine the past 75 years is Yahya Sinwar. You have an editorial in the most influential weekly in the West, The Economist, that says the killing of Sinwar will probably reshape the Middle East. I mean, it's delusional to an extent, just impossible to measure. But why? One, it's because the American and German leaders basically are saying, you see, a year of genocide is justified because Israel was going after Sinwar. So now that Sinwar has been killed, so now perhaps there's a solution, as if Sinwar was the problem. Sinwar and Hamas have accepted a ceasefire since a year ago. Since the second, third week of October, they've been demanding a ceasefire. They wanted a ceasefire. They never wanted a war. They wanted a prisoners exchange. Hamas never wanted a war. Yes, it did a daring attack in October 7, but the idea was for prisoner exchange, wasn't to launch a war against Israel. The ones who wanted the war the past year is the Israeli government. Netanyahu is the one who wants to even expand the war. So there's something delusional and complicit. There's something stupid and cynical about the idea that you think once you kill this one person, that everything could be okay now, that we can have a ceasefire leading to a peace in the Middle East. While at the same time, the Israeli prime minister is saying, no, 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 this is not the end of the war. In fact, this will give us now the inspiration to expand the war in Gaza, in Lebanon, and throughout the Middle East.
Right, Marwan, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you once again, Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera's senior political analyst.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.